So when it comes to cameras, we are constantly hearing about the big ones, Sony, Canon, and then other ones like Nikon and Fuji definitely are in the conversation the vast majority of times. But there is one company that honestly, I always feel like they're underrated and they're the underdog, even though I kind of feel they offer you so much and really cater towards the video creators like myself and other people, giving you amazing features and I would say also forward thinking at probably the best value around. And that brand is Panasonic. So whenever I started, I got this Panasonic G85 Micro Four Thirds camera. This was my first quote-unquote real camera. And prior to this, I was using my phone as my main camera. And then prior to that, I was actually using a Sony CyberShot compact camera. And then over time, I did decide to upgrade and get myself a Sony A7 IV full frame camera. And at the time, that was the best camera I have ever used. And it's still an incredible camera. But then I actually went back to the Panasonic world. And it was all because of one thing. As much as I really did enjoy using the Panasonic G85, this is a fantastic camera, especially for the price. The one thing that has held back Panasonic for so many years is their video autofocus. It was quite simply unreliable, unusable, and 99.9% of the times I was always using manual mode, and that was the main reason why I moved over to a Sony A7 IV. However, ever since Panasonic released their Panasonic S5 II, they finally introduced a phase tech hybrid system to work with their DFD contrast-based system. And then I got the Panasonic S5 IIX, which is the super video-centric version of the S5 II. And let me tell you, this is by far my favorite camera so far. And I would say for the vast majority of creators out there, it's gonna be really hard to beat this camera. And let's go ahead and get back to value, because whenever I got the G85, I got a whole kit and everything years ago. It was around $1,100. And right now you can get this for less than $600 or $600 to $700. And then for the used market, you could get it even cheaper than that. But with the Panasonic S5 IIX, you are getting a full frame camera with more features than I think any camera in this price range. And in terms of the price, quite often I do see this for sale for around the $2,000 mark. And then you could also get sales like maybe at B&H or Adorama, where you're probably going to get it for $2,200 to $2,500, somewhere around there. And that is basically the price of the Sony A7 IV, just the body only. And so this is why I kind of feel Panasonic just really gives you so much. It gives you a lot of, I would say, pro level stuff that you normally would not see. And it also provides things that other video manufacturers don't. For example, one thing that they did introduce with this camera, and I think maybe the camera before that, was actually 6K open gate mode. And what that allows you to do is use the entire sensor, and you get more information on the top and the bottom, which allows you to recompose your videos into a vertical video a lot easier. And then other things that this particular camera provides is things like real-time LUTs. And then the Lumix S9 actually has a LUTs button. And so Panasonic is really paving the way for that, specifically for creators who might not need all these pro level stuff and who just want to create and get really great images and allow to change that a lot quicker. And then other things that this camera does are things that I wish were available in other cameras in this price range. It does give you more way to monitor your videos, like waveform and so forth. And also another thing that I really enjoy about using this camera is just the overall user interface. It's just really intuitive. Everything is explained really well. And then other things here like frame markers. If you are shooting a video that you might want to recompose for vertical later, it allows you to put frame markers, and not only for vertical videos, but different dimensions. And then speaking of like different, resolutions, frames, and so forth, this has a ton of video features. along with the ability to use an external SSD so that you could do RAW, and I think it has ProRes as well externally. Plus, it has anamorphic support on here as well, which, as far as I know, at this price, there is no other camera that offers that, at least not in the way that Panasonic offers it. And in my opinion, still the best stabilization in the biz if you don't include things like action cameras like from a DJI or from GoPros. And so this is by far the best stabilization I've ever seen, and it continually gets better. And then another thing that Panasonic has just been doing really, really well for many years is their firmware updates. They support their cameras many years after the fact, and that's something that I really do appreciate, especially when I compare it to my Sony a7 IV, which did not get that many firmware updates, and when it did, it wasn't a huge leap. And there's many other things that this camera provides that very few, if any, cameras at this price range offers, and that's the same for the G85. Pound for pound with the Panasonic camera, you're gonna get so much more. And that's why I feel strongly that they are very underrated. And especially if you are looking at these brand new cameras from Sony and especially from Canon that are very expensive, but they don't offer everything that these other cameras from Panasonic offers. And at the same time, on their more higher end, the next release of the S1H, I'm really looking forward to that, even though that's really not anything I need, because this offers me more than what I need at an absolutely incredible price. So those are my thoughts today on what I feel is the most underrated camera company out there, Panasonic. If you have not tried out a Panasonic camera, especially now that they do have their phase detect hybrid system, I highly recommend you do, and I kind of feel that you feel the same way, and you learn to appreciate and maybe get into the Panasonic world and enjoy everything that they have to offer. So if you actually had any thoughts on this, be sure to leave in the comments there below, and I'll see you on another episode. Hey geeks, if you are a brand new creator and you simply want something easy to get you started, well, I got something for you with my Creator Starter Kit. This is a super simple step-by-step guide that's going to take you from having no channel to developing your very first YouTube channel, along with ideas, thumbnail designs, and other creator tips, including marketing. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and get started creating.